First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I've got 30 minutes for this talk, and I will try and keep myself on the timer. I'm just going to make sure that I finish my session on time. So, basically, when I was starting off my career, I actually, this is the kind of feeling which I got, which track to take and which path to take, what is my final destination, and I was feeling very lost and confused. To give you a bit about my own background, I'm a chartered accountant from India, and to be honest, CA from India is slightly difficult. To give you the perspective, the results is around 0.5%. So for every 200 students who sit in the exam, one student clears the exam. So I was lucky enough to clear my CA at the age of 22. I was in the youngest CA list of India. And then after completing my CA, I started getting offers. And really nice sort of companies, really nice sort of profile, good sort of packages and everything. I worked in the company for 1 month and then I quit. I changed function, I changed company, and then again I quit. So I changed about 6 jobs in a span of 9 months. Can you imagine? At that point of time, I was feeling very weird. Something is wrong with me. What's going on? But today, I feel extremely proud about that decision. I was able to take quick decision at that point of time. So after doing my CA, I felt after shifting those companies in a span of 9 months, then I felt, okay, let me just go overseas. Maybe Indian environment is not suitable to me. Maybe the Indian work environment is something which is not gelling with my DNA or whatever. So let me go overseas. So I went to Australia. Anyone from Australia here? Okay. So I went to Australia and I did my MBA in accounting and finance. While I was doing my MBA, I'm just going to connect 2 stories, actually 2 episodes from my life, which helped me create this deck of cards, which I'm going to show you. And one of the episode which happened was while I was doing my MBA. So I was, doing my MBA, I was doing some part-time jobs and all that, and I felt one fine day I left the part-time jobs also, and one fine day I was sitting by a lake, and I was just doing a lot of self-reflection, what's going on in my life. And suddenly I receive a call. I receive a call from, I will never forget that person's name, Mohammed from Dubai. And he was doing accounting, he was studying accounting, he had an exam day after on accounting, and he didn't know anything about accounting. So he gave me a call. He said, Anish, one of my friend has referred your name. Will you be able to teach me accounting? I've got an exam day after. I don't understand the English. I don't understand accounting. So I said, I was not in a mood at that moment of time. So I said, okay, let me give you a call back in the evening. So in the evening, I gave him a call and I said, I was not doing a job. So I said, okay, so I am just going to come down and help you tomorrow. So I sat with him in the library, and I kid you not, 7 hours went in a jiffy. I was not even realizing that I'm sitting with this guy, teaching accounting for 7 hours, and I felt really, really like I was in a state of flow. A few weeks later, he gives me a call and say, Anish, I passed the exam. So that was something, he was really struggling, and that was a good sort of a sign. But that sign was not that strong enough. So when you are doing MBA, if you are from, so this is the second sort of a incident which happened. So one of my very close friend's friend, she was doing engineering management in Australia. And she was from an engineering background. And if you do engineering management, one of the core subjects which you need to do is accounting. And she didn't know anything about accounting. And she said, Anish, she said to her friend that Anish is a good friend of yours. He's a CA. Can you please ask him to help me? So I said, okay, no problem. So again, what I did was I never gave her straight solution. Till date, I don't give straight solution. I just help her dissolve the problem. I just help her look at the problem from slightly different perspective. And she was able to find the solution from her own insights. She was able to find that out. So she said something, and that changed my life completely. She said, Anish, you have got a skill to simplify at my level. So you're able to simplify. Being a CA, you are simplifying it at my level, and I can ask you any question without feeling embarrassed about it. So I really took that sort of a message very, very strongly, and I started teaching accounting. I started off as a tutor, helping students and so on and so forth. But 14 years down the line, there are CEOs, working professionals, people from non-accounting background, non-financial background coming down to me and say, Anish, this is the sort of a program and this is the course which I'm doing, but I don't understand accounting. Can you simplify it for me? And there are people who have stopped going to the university. There are people who have stopped going to colleges. They are simply coming down to me, and I'm teaching them in my own sort of a style. And that's how I created this deck of cards. This is called as numbers deck, and this is like a playful way of understanding accounting. So you put me in a room full of people from non-accounting background. Without even starting the presentation, I can teach them accounting in flat 90 minutes just by playing with cards. So I really wanted to keep it fun, playful, and experiential. Anyone in this room scared of accounting, scared of numbers, by the way? That's good, that's good. So, basically that was the whole idea, that you experience the cards and you understand accounting. So let me give you an example straight away. You know the way our universe is made of 5 elements? What are the 5 elements? Good, good. So similar to that, accounting is also made of 5 elements. I'm just going to demonstrate that to you. The first element is an asset. Anyone knows what is an asset? Human resource is also an asset, yeah, very good. So the way, this is card number 3, by the way, from the numbers deck. Anything which a business owns is an asset. That's the cue word which you need to remember. Similarly, the second element is liability. Anything which a business owes is a liability. The third element, owner's equity, we usually call it as a residual. So let me give you an example. Let's assume that I start a business and I purchase an asset for, say, $10,000. $10,000 is something which I'm buying an asset for my business. I take a loan from, say, Citibank for $7,000, and I put my own funds, $3,000, as a down payment to get that asset. So you will see the total asset is actually equal to total liabilities plus owner's equity. That's one of the equation. And you will find out all these 3 elements are part of the balance sheet. That's one of the statements. The fourth element is called as revenue. Anything which a business earns is revenue, like selling of goods, selling of services, that is revenue. And the fifth element is called as an expense. Anything which a business incurs in order to generate the revenue is an expense. To give you an example, $1,000 worth of revenue, take away $400 worth of expense, made a profit of $600, and those 2 elements are part of income statement. So in this one slide, you have seen 5 elements. You have seen 5 cue words, which you need to remember to understand the 5 elements. You have seen an example and how those 5 elements are linked to the 2 statements. That's accounting. So basically, the numbers deck is for accounting for non-accountants using a deck of 52 cards. And the idea is to keep it really, really fun, playful, and experiential. That's the deck of cards, by the way. Now, when I did this, so I've been doing this program in Australia, in India, since last so many years. When I did this, I realized that the deck of cards is a really good sort of a tool to explain something. You can actually make it really playful. And this was some sort of a statement which I made sure I implement in my next product or next project which I was thinking about. So keep it inspiringly simple. You have to keep it simple, and you have to make sure that you inspire the other person to fall in love with that concept. So here I am. I was trying to think there is something more in my life. I need to explore a bit more about my own self. And, there is something else which I can do. And I realized this when I was teaching. Like, I've got students from 18 years to 60 years. And while I'm doing accounting coaching, I'm also training them in their mindset, because they come with so much of mental block. Anish, I'm 55, I've never done my proper schooling, and I'm doing executive MBA program, and I'm getting stuck with accounting. Can you help me out? So there you are, like, you have to help them in their mindset also. So I was able to do that. And I was sitting in this cafe in India, it's my friend's cafe, and I was sitting at the very back, and I was just reflecting what else I can do on the deck of cards. And I was just sitting there, and there are a lot of people walking into the cafe. There are individuals, there are friends, there are family, there are couples, there are a group of people, professionals walking into the cafe and, chit-chatting. Although I was not very keen to listen to what they are saying, but somehow the conversation revolved around emotions. Some were feeling really happy, some were feeling sad, some were anxious, feeling guilty. That was a sort of emotions they were displaying. And a lot of people felt that life is complicated. I mean, on that specific day, I felt that people think life is complicated. So here I am trying to think how to simplify life. How can I maybe possibly try and simplify life? And that's how Life Deck, the deck of cards, on life came into being. It's again a 52 card deck which talks about, it captures the journey from needs to purpose. So let me ask you this question very, very quickly. What is life according to you in one word? Shout out some answers. What is life according to you in one word? Okay. Sorry, perspective, yeah? Lesson. Journey. Goals. Purpose. So, whatever word you have chosen, there is some sort of a hidden need which you are trying to solve. So for some people, life is an experience. For some people, life is a journey. Life is connection, love. Whatever word you have chosen, you are trying to fulfill one sort of a need, and that's card number 2. So either you're trying to solve your physiological need, or you're trying to solve your psychological need, or you're trying to solve your psychical needs or the spiritual path. So if someone says life is all about contribution, life is all about giving out to the community, you are trying to solve your spiritual need. So that's card number 2. And I really want to talk about the last card, which is on purpose, and that's card number 52. So there is a village in Japan. Anyone from Japan here, by the way? Okay. There is a village in Japan called as Okinawa, and the average age of an individual over there is 90 plus. Apart from the clean weather, lifestyle and all that, every single person has got an ikigai. Have you heard that term before, ikigai? Yes, cool. So ikigai is basically, that's not me. Can I have my presentation back, please? Okay. So everyone has got an ikigai, and ikigai is all about finding a purpose. Now, if you have that purpose in your, you are actually, the life is actually pulling you. You're not pushing yourself. Something is pulling you. It is like you are in a state of flow. And I really want to talk about how to find purpose in life, because once you find that, you will feel that all 7 days is like same. You don't feel like, why Monday is coming, or why, you're crazy about Friday. It's never going to happen. So, so there are 3 things. Let the slide come. But there are 3 things which I really want to think about. I want you to think about 5 skills which you are really good at. Just try and think, or maybe if you want to write it down, just write it down if you want to go through an experience. Think of 5 skills which you are really, really good at. Top 5. If possible, pick the top 3 skills. Out of those 5, you can take the top 3 skills. The next thing which I really want you to work upon is 3 areas which will get you paid. So 3 areas where you're getting paid already or you think you will get paid in the future. It could be anything. So try and think of at least 2 or 3 areas where you are getting paid or you will be getting paid in the future. So maybe you're not really good in, say, public speaking today, but you feel you have got a message and you can share it with the world in the future and get paid for it. So those are the 3 things. You can write it down. And the last thing which I really want you to think about is this. What is something which you love to do? Even at 3 o'clock in the morning, even though you are so tired, but you will do it anyways. You will do it for free because you really love to do that. Just think of 2 things. Now, if you have got all the 3 sections complete, there is a common thread which, if you can find a common thread between all the 3, that is possibly your Ikigai, and that's card number 52. Something which you are really skilled at, something which you are getting paid for, and something which you love to do. If you find that, and if you build a business around it, if you build your life around it, imagine the amount of happiness and joy which you're going to carry each and every single day. So that's purpose. Second, anxiety. A lot of people are feeling anxious these days. And to be honest, 20% of the population or 20% of the adult are go through some sort of an anxious episode in their life someday. And out of those 20%, 50% of the people, like 3 out of 6 people, don't usually get that sort of care which they need. They don't get that. So what we aim is maybe if you can try and build self-motivation, maybe if you can try and build self-care in those, out of those 3 out of 6, if you can build 5 out of 6 such people, if you can give them self-motivation, self-care, self-love, they will be able to come out of that sort of an anxious and worry cycle by themselves. So let me demonstrate that. This is the card. So let's build some wisdom around anxiety and worry. This is card number 46. Let's do it in terms of cups. So you can do it in terms of boxes or cups. The first cup, which I want to call, is the control cup. What are those things which you are trying to control in your life? Maybe you can write it down on a piece of paper, fold it, and put it into this cup. What are the things which you are trying to control in your life? Are you trying to control your husband, wife, kids, whoever you think you are controlling? Write it down and put it into this cup. The second cup, personally, I feel your happiness and sadness is in your control. The second cup is the manage cup. What are the things which you are managing? What are the things which you are really good at managing? Or what are the things which you are able to manage? We'll go into in this cup. So I feel your health and wellness, your health and wealth actually is something which you need to manage. The third cup is the accept cup. This is where you need to learn to accept certain things. So I personally feel that you need to learn to accept your past and your present. You also need to learn to accept the imperfection in your body, whatever the God has given to you. So that is something which you learn to accept it. And then the last cup is letting go or ignore. The better word is letting go. What are those things which you need to learn to let go? Think about that. Now just close your eyes for 1 second. Just close your eyes. Think about few things which you are controlling in your life. Think about that. What are few such things which you are controlling? Now imagine if you can take one thing out of your control section and you can put it into the manage, accept, or even let go. Is it possible? When you try and lift it out from control and put it into let go, you will feel slightly less anxious. And you can do this exercise on a daily basis. Ideally, when you start this exercise, there should be a lot of things in your control, a lot of things in your manage, and very less thing in your let go. Each day reflect, can I lift something from here and put it into a different box? And when you do this on a daily basis, it sticks into your brain. So that's wisdom around anxiety. The last one is on stress, closely linked to anxiety stress. Imagine a different way of looking at stress. The first arrow, which is going up, whenever you are faced with a stressful situation, this is one of the reactions which you are doing. You are running away, flying or flight. And what happens in my brain, when my brain says, let's move on, it means I'm trying to run away from that situation. That's one of the reactions for me. The second reaction is confronting. So the arrow is going in the front. You're trying to fight. And when my mind says, how dare you? It means I'm in the fighting mode. The third arrow is going down. So sometimes I feel very insignificant, or I feel I don't have that much resources, so I freeze. And when my mind says, I feel helpless, it means again I'm reacting, a passive mode of communication. I'm reacting. Those three are reactions. The last one is the response. So it is literally going one step back in your mind's eye, stepping back and looking at that situation from a completely different perspective. When my mind says, I have a choice, it means I am in my response mode. Because when I say I've got a choice, my mind is going to search for at least two options. And one of them would be a wise choice. So see, can you shift from run, confront, and hide to being mindful? Is it possible? At looking at stress from a slightly different perspective. So that's card number 19. So that's Life Deck. A book has been written on the deck of cards. It's available on Amazon. And it's all about building self-awareness using a deck of 52 cards. As I said, it's a journey from needs to purpose. And the idea is to give you a spark. It's not set in stone. It is written in sand. So you can take the card, you can add, you can delete, you can do whatever you want. But this is just a spark. Okay? So, and the idea is if you can lead your life by design, not by default, you will be slightly more joyful. So those are the two deck of cards. Anyone who wants to understand or talk more about it, I'm more than happy to showcase that to you. So Numbers Deck in less than 90 minutes, understand accounting, and obviously Life Deck is all about building social, emotional learning. So why the deck of cards? So I personally feel it makes learning joyful. I feel that it keeps it really simple, and I personally feel it is you can experience it with or without digitizing it. So we have done virtual cards also, we have done physical workshops also, and both are equally impactful. It makes it more engaging, it is more in a more relaxed sort of an environment, and it is more sort of enjoyable. What's next? So we are actually going to schools. We want to teach this to kids. So imagine a 5th grade student understanding accounting. In 90 minutes, imagine that. Imagine they're learning social, emotional learning, how to look at worry, how to look at anger, fear, irritation, what is meditation, from a slightly different perspective. Imagine that. And they are doing it in a self-paced manner. So that is why we are taking it to schools, educational institutions, colleges, and universities. We are also going global, so we have been doing this in Australia. As I said, I've lived in Australia for about 10, 11 years, so we have been doing this in Australia. India, we want to take it to the Middle East and other countries. That's the whole idea. And we are doing it in live workshop format and on-demand courses. So we have certain on-demand courses on our website already listed. So anyone, anywhere from the world can enroll into those programs. It's ideal for incubation center. So entrepreneurs, startups who are struggling with accounting, they will be really enjoying this sort of program. So it's good for incubation center. It's good for educational institutions, corporate L&D. We do a lot of live deck courses or workshops for corporates, and it is also good for individual. Now, this is one of my favorite photographs. So imagine these are like fifth grade students in a school in Bangalore, and they did learn accounting. You can see the cards which are on the table without even starting the presentation, without even doing anything on the blackboard. They learned accounting in 70 minutes. None of them has heard the term debit or credit before in their life. Imagine that. And if you can inculcate love, there is a lot of fear about accounting. When you say accounting, they switch off. It's a language of business which I don't understand. The idea is you need to fill them with love and then let them see whether they enjoy that. And keep it really short and simple. Make it experiential, make it fun. So I personally feel that the true test of simplicity is whether a 10-year-old can understand and are able to teach it to another 10-year-old. That is the true test of simplicity. That's what I personally feel. So I'm right on time, 3 minutes to spare. And that's my details, trainmybrain.in. All my programs are listed on the website. And I'm happy to take a couple of questions. Thank you.
Oh, maybe someone has a question for you.
Hi, I just want to ask you, I connected with you thoroughly and you were talking about love and fear. I want to ask you, when you were starting to create these decks, every person has this fear. What if it wasn't received well? What if nobody likes it? Because, our ideas, we like our ideas, it's in our head. So how to overcome that fear and how you did it?
A simple, short, sweet answer would be persistence. If you believe in that product, if you believe that it's going to solve, basically I personally feel there are only 3 ways or maybe a couple of ways where you can where you can start building a business around your product or services. Either you're trying to solve a problem or you're trying to fill a gap. People are willing to pay you 5 times more if you're trying to solve their problem. So you need to understand, is accounting a problem? Yes, it's a challenge. When I was doing my MBA, I had lots of friends who felt absolutely blank when the professor was teaching accounting because they felt that you need to understand the basic knowledge of accounting, which they didn't have. So I saw that blank faces and I said, okay, there has to be a nicer way to remove that confusion, and fill them with clarity and in a short format. So that is something which you need to watch, you need to see. And then the second thing is, whatever you do it with love. If you're building something, it's like your baby. These are my 2 little babies which are growing gradually. And whatever you do it with love. And be persistent. If you believe in your product, someone somewhere is willing to buy that. Trust me.
Thank you so much.
Yes, right here.
So when you spoke about those 4 cups and you start off with control,
Yeah.
is the objective to have nothing in the control cup towards the end of the day?
No. The objective is if you are trying to put too much into the control cup or the control box, you will always feel anxious because you're trying to control so many things in your life. You're not going with the flow. There will be some sort of a friction because you're going against, because you really don't want what universe is unfolding it in front of you. You want to find a way out. There are certain things which you need to control, but there are certain things which you can learn to let go. When you do that shift from control to let go, you will see that your body is slightly more calmer and relaxed. So the idea is not to have 0 thing in your control. The idea and the wisdom is to find out what is actually which is in your control. What are things which are beyond your control? Shift it to the other cups. I hope I answered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In the back over there.
First of all, amazing presentation.
Thank you.
Really loved it. I want to know about the whole process of, basically designing it. I'm not talking about colors and all that, but how did you, sort of start it? You did talk about accounting as something that you started teaching. I wanted to understand about your life coach cards, purpose cards. I wanted to understand how did you go about designing it? Like, were there questions when you looked at the card? Was it like question answer format, or were these some of the things that you have used in the past as a diagrams that you shifted it?
What a great question. You are taking me back to my days when, see, trust me, if I speak with you, maybe outside or somewhere here, I'm always listening very, very carefully. Whatever you're going to say, something is going to stick into my brain. So it's a journey. The life deck didn't happen overnight. It was a journey about a lot of interaction with a lot of people. So I find some people, I feel really guilty all the time. I feel really, really anxious all the time. I feel very irritated. How to do meditation? How to bring balance in your life? So these are the kind of questions, because I do coaching all the time. These are the kind of questions which I usually get. So those things kept into my, sort of back of my mind, saying that these are the areas which people are really struggling with. So I started simplifying it. Like, what is meditation? Like, I can take you through a meditation experience right now. Even though you have never ever done meditation in your life, right now. You just give me 5 minutes, I will teach you. Meditation is not going to the mountains and sitting in silence and cutting off from the entire world. Meditation is while you're doing painting. That is meditation. Meditation is while you're dancing. That is meditation. The idea is you are in a state of flow. The idea is there is no friction. There is nothing which is stopping you. And you are just flowing. So that is meditation. That's how meditation should be. So the concept of meditation, sitting in silence and going in that sort of a mode, and you're trying to fight with your thoughts, it's never going to happen. You have to flow with your thoughts. So that is a different concept. So all I used to do is just listen to the problems of people. It took me 5 years, by the way. 5 years, yeah.
Of course, I mean, I understand this is not like a one-day thing. So to summarize, you had like a lot of questions, like people asked you questions.
Yes.
Those questions were the inspirations to start with the, sort of a diagram that you put in the cards.
Exactly.
My second question, follow-up for that would be, did you test it? Like, of course, you must be doing it. Did you iterate it through these processes?
Yes, so we do programs on this. So there are video on demand courses, like I do sessions, personal sessions on Ikigai. Trust me, when a 55-year-old person tells you and they start crying, I've never done anything in my life for myself. I've done it for my wife, for my kids. I really want to do something for my own self. And when you hit that note in their heart, they start crying. And when they start crying, you know that they need something else in their life. See, there are two most important days in your life. One, when you're born. Second is when you find out why you were born. The why part. So when you try and dissolve the confusion around the why, they just feel so grateful. You don't even need anything from them. You don't need to, they don't even have to say thank you to you. Because you can see in their eyes. They just lit up like anything. So I have tested it with so many people. Like imagine doing anxiety. I mean, I do.
No. My question was not that you did not test it.
Okay.
The question was that, so for example, you had like a question. You converted those thoughts, those ideas into a certain pictograms or, diagrams which
Sure.
were there as a part of the cards. Now you might have gone and, actually given to people, as you talked about, right? Because you have a lot of opportunities to go and see whether these were working. So my question was, after these sort of interactions, these testings, as we may call it, after that, did you also keep changing these cards, or is it like right now it's at a state where you think that it is good?
Again, a very good question. 52 is not enough for life. Trust me. And if you see the card box, even when you see the accounting one, it just says Series 1. Just like Education 2.0. Live Deck 2.0 is going to come. And it is going to come because of you all people. When you say, I don't understand, why is this guilty? Why have you said guilt is all about only this? I personally feel there is something else about guilt. That is going to go in 2.0. Yes. There might be a 3.0 as well.
Okay, last question over here on the right, please.
I have... Sir, I have...
I can say that because I am a chartered accountant myself, and this is a great way for even starting a professional.
Sirs, I have already, they have this GMCC, right? They have this. So I've already been invited by ICAI. In fact, I have been invited to do a talk at ICSI. So I was amazed. I'm not a company secretary. You are inviting me to an annual event. So I'm a chartered accountant speaking with the CS people. So we take it to all institutions.
Right.
And I will be more than happy. Like we have done it in Dubai and we have done it at so many other places. In fact, in India also we have done it with the ICAI. But I don't do numbers deck with ICAI member. You understand? They will say, oh, I know all this. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
So I only do live deck. So I have to be slightly picky.
The basics remain the same.
Basics.
Whatever.
Imagine every CA student do the live deck. Trust me, they are in so much of stress. I studied 16 hours each day and finally got a degree at the age of 22, which I'm not able to enjoy. Imagine that. Imagine that. But I found that I can actually simplify it for other non-accountants people. So that is something which I took from my degree. Can I make it really simple? Can I come down to your level and teach accounting to you? So I took it in that way. So imagine if everyone finds a purpose, a CA student finding their purpose, yes, this is something exactly what I want to do in my life. The life is going to change completely.
Thank you for brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Anish will be available at the break.